Fuck, I lost my doctor.
I'm gonna see if I can actually find us on YouTube. YouTube changed all their shit.
Did they?
The landing page looks completely different.
Oh, fucking hate
And just in general, just trying to find our page, going down the fucking lists. Like, you'd think being owned by Google search would be good.
Nope.
Organization, any? No?
Nope.
Not even a little bit. It is.
Not at all.
I don't get it. I run into this with a lot of their stuff, like Google Music or their news feed. Now, you don't use a Google phone, you use an iPhone.
Right.
So there's this thing where you can go over, you can click, or you can swipe left on your phone on an Android, and you get to the Google News feed. And it's like, hey, here's some stories that we think you're interested in because you searched shit on somebody once. And it gives you the option of saying, okay, yeah, I want to share this, or I want to hide this story, or I want to hide all stories of this nature. But the nature is like some random bullshit that doesn't make any sense most of the time. It's like, hey, Trump fucked Stormy Daniels. So you want to read a dozen different versions of the same story about that? Ugh. Well, no. Well, then would you like us to hide all stories about politics? That's not really what this is. Can you be a little bit more honed in on what this story is and why I maybe don't want to read it, and certainly don't want to, when I hide it once, I don't have to see 15 other sites tell the same goddamn thing. You think you can get your algorithm to wake the fuck up and do that for me, Google? No? All right. Well, they'll fuck you and take it up the ass. I'm just saying, right. If I ran these companies, the amount of money and shit that they have, it seems like they could do better. They could be better. But they're not. They don't care. All they care about is that, well, this week Facebook fucked up more than we did, so yay! And we've always got Uber until all of a sudden we don't got Uber anymore, because that is going to be a thing.
They're going to get run out everywhere they go. All right.
Hi, Growly.
Is your old man rant over now?
Hopefully not, because that's my only shtick.
Jesus. Well, at least just save it so I can get through the fucking intro and then you can complain again.
Yeah, whatever.
Welcome to episode 121 of the Podcast Terror production of the Galactic Network. I'm your host, Matt Stein. I changed this. It's all wrong. For more on this podcast, including show notes, content information, subscription links, go to GNCast.com. I quit. Corey, this is your Tom.
GNCast Tom, new head of the network. We didn't even really check with anybody. It's just like all of a sudden this guy Tom walked in. He's like, "Hey, motherfuckers, I used to run MySpace." Well, sure.
I'm so glad you brought it. I was looking for a way to get that MySpace in. Glad you brought that full circle. You remember MySpace? Have you gone on MySpace recently?
Not recently, but probably more recent than most people. Like when Justin Timberlake was being, "Hey guys, come on, check out MySpace again." And I was like, all right, Justin, I like you on SNL.
I didn't know that there was like an attempted resurrection of MySpace. I just thought it continued to exist and people just
continue to ignore it
to exist.
Yeah. No, there was a movement like your bells that was about trying to get it tied more into music stuff. And I just think the name was enough to. It's like Napster. Napster was the big shit for a while, and then they changed hands a bunch of times. I think Best Buy owned them for a little bit. But at some point, like they stopped being the favorable go get your shit from Napster. Mm-hmm. And so after that, the name became worthless. So sure, there's still a Napster around, but nobody gives a fuck. We went to Kazaa, we went to other things, and then we got BitTorrent and never looked back. So Napster being a legitimized company, it doesn't do to own the name. It's like Yahoo. At some point, Yahoo became unfavorable, even if it did new stuff that was kind of cool. And people are like, well, yeah, but I would feel like I was a shithead for going to Yahoo, like just trying to type it in. Like,
have you you've used BitTorrent, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a what is it, a DCMA letter? The digital.
I've gotten stuff from Comcast before saying, "Hey, motherfucker, you know what? This free show that you're downloading ain't free." It's like, well, it sure is if I watched it on NBC, dicks.
So I recently got one from Charter Spectrum, but it didn't tell me what the file was, which I think is very odd because I had gotten a lot of them from Charter when I still lived with my parents. And every time it would say the file name, the date you downloaded it from, the site you downloaded it from, the whole fucking 9 yards. And I got this one and it didn't tell me.
Now they're just taking a stab in the dark. You didn't even do anything. It's just like, we know you.
Well, and that's like, I mean, I use Usenet for the majority of my TV and movie stuff, but once in a while when I can't find it, I have to go to uTorrent or BitTorrent. But it's like I use it so infrequently that it's like I'm kind of curious which one got me. Not that
right.
I mean, I clearly still have the internet, and but I'm curious which one it was, and I didn't want to email him and be like, "So what was the file? Like, how can you prove this was me if you can't tell me when, and where it was? Or how also, can you prove that it came from my internet connection?"
And what are they going to fucking do at this point? Now, if Comcast is your only, or Charter is your only game where you're at, then that's a problem.
Well, it's the only.
But if you have, right, and that's the shit they hold over us is that, oh well, there's only one fast internet connection, and the rest of it is just people being dicks.
PB and dicks, is that what you said?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. PB and dicks, my favorite sandwich. I like it. I like it in a pita pocket.
Oh God.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know where I was going. But out here we've got Sonic, and Sonic is supposed to be putting in this area.
Internet. I thought you were talking about Sonic food, and I'm like, God damn, I missed that place.
No, we don't have that. At least not really local. But we have Sonic Internet, and they're supposed to be putting in gigabit fiber or the equivalent all around the area, and they're just taking their time, but they're not the big giant ass company that Comcast is. So as soon as anybody can get Sonic at that speed, it's just going to be a big fuck you to Comcast anyways. And then they're going to literally send a service person out to your house between the hours of 12 and 4 to lick your balls to try to retain you as a customer. Hi, it's Dave from Comcast, and it's about 2:45 in the afternoon, and I just had lunch.
Say 2:75.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2:75. And I just want to let you know I will be there to lick your balls within the hour. If you could maybe towel off, that would be swell. But that's the thing, is like when you're over a fucking barrel, you gotta like, okay, I'll take your warning, Comcast. But then a month later, you just do it again, and they don't give a shit.
All right.
Oh, farce.
I'm trying to look. So AT&T has fiber, and it seems to be getting. It's like in our area. Like if I was at my old house, I think I could get it, but it's not quite out in the boonies yet.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is you are in the no man's land of.
Well, we're along a major county highway, so I think
that just means that they find bodies there.
Well, that, and they have to run lines past my house to get to places.
Oh, okay.
That was like the whole fucking natural gas thing. I told you about that, right?
No.
So our house is on propane. Fine, I live in the middle of goddamn nowhere. I get it. But the electric company that also has the natural gas lines contacted us, and they were like, "Hey, someone asked in your area if they could get natural gas, and now we're asking everyone in the area if you'd be interested." And I'm like, fucking sign me up, because I hate cooking on electric. So she calls me back like 2 months later, and she goes, "Yeah, it's going to be like $4,000, because everyone has to split the cost of running the main down the road that if you're watching the video, you see cars going past my head." And then I'm like, that's not that bad. Like, I would pay that because propane is expensive. Then they give you 100 feet of pipe from the main to your house, and then you have to pay $78 a foot from there to your house, which I think I figured it was about 200 feet. So it's like we're looking at another $700. Fine. I've spent almost $1,000 in less than a year we've lived here in propane alone. And then I thought about it. My neighbor who lives a quarter mile past my house is going to have to pay from that 100 feet like 3,000 feet back to his house. So everyone except us and the one other person said no. So she's like, now it's $11,000. I'm like, well, like fucking, and I just laughed at her, and I'm like, you already know my answer. And she's like, oh, I know. I'm like, yeah. The next time it comes up, though, just call me because I said I'm interested. I don't remember why I started telling that story. Then
no, our business park is the same thing. Sonic is actually going into our business park where my company is. Because they want to be the local ISP for businesses. They want to be the local ISP for everybody. Yeah. They want to give people a better choice. They're the ones who are actually like behind, legitimately like, hey, we fucking need net neutrality. We believe in this shit. But we're an hour away from San Francisco, and they're all over San Francisco. It's a different mindset out here. So I appreciate it. But yeah, the subpar fucking internet that we've been using at my work to run a fucking business is insane. Yeah. But it would have cost like $25,000 to get Comcast to come in there because they won't just fucking do it to collect the bills every month. It's like, no, we'll charge you up front this much money to get it here, and then once you're the first one in, then everybody else can just pipe off of that. It's an amazing amount of bullshit of like, we don't have to work for your business, you have to work to get us. But as soon as it happens, it happened in Austin and Houston, a bunch of other places where Google Fiber went in. It's like as soon as Google Fiber went in, AT&T and all the other ones up their game. It's like, oh, we can give you gigabit, we can do this shit, and
they're all capable of it. Charter, Time Warner Charter became Spectrum, and it was kind of split for anyone listening that isn't aware. Spectrum has gigabit lines. The company I work for has a Time Warner Spectrum gig line from one office to the other office. And fucking, I have Spectrum, so you cannot tell me, like, I don't even have the option. Like, you get 100 down by 20 up, which is great. I'm not complaining. I pay like $45 a month. It's actually reasonable.
No, that's very reasonable.
If I want to get 300 by 50, I have to pay a $200 activation fee. For what? I don't fucking know. You're using the same lines that already come into my house. It's the same equipment that I already have. You're just charging me $200 because you can.
Yep.
And so whatever, but it's the fucking, like, you already have the capability of fiber to my fucking house because it's a fiber infrastructure. Like, the thing is they don't give a shit because they don't have to.
They don't have to. That's exactly it. Otherwise, it sounds like you're in a weird spot where you said like things have to roll past you to get from one area to the next.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's a city, there's a town of like 1,000 people that's a mile and a half down the road. They all have natural gas. So there's like power lines and natural gas lines that just run down the county highway to places.
So you're like Petticoat Junction.
Yeah.
You're like halfway between wherever Green Acres was and the next town over, which I guess was Pixley or something, and you're just like right in the center. And so it's like you can't get there from here unless you go past me. And so you should just put up a fucking toll bridge. You just put a bridge in for your fucking house, and like or like that fucking barrier that comes down like they did in Blazing Saddles. And just like, and nobody can go around it. They just gotta like come up to it, and somebody's got to get a fucking shitload of quarters. Yeah, that's fair.
What the fuck? I changed my name to Toll Booth Willie.
Yeah, exactly.
For you, $1.25 per.
Yeah, but in your case, Toll Booth Willie, it would be you in a toll booth, and everybody comes by and just show them your dick.
Yeah, it'd be my Toll Booth Willie.
Yeah, exactly.
Drive by dickin'.
That's a low bar to try to roll under.
Oh, God. Is it because I'm short or because my penis is so massive?
It touches the ground because you have no knees.
I do have. I mean, I guess anyone watching this has no idea if I have knees.
Nobody's ever seen them.
You only see me tits up. So
don't believe they exist. I feel like we have seen your tits in the air, though. What is this show again? What do we do?
Why have you seen my tits in the air?
No, I feel like
my shirt off on here. Probably.
I feel like you probably have. Yeah,
probably. 2.5 years, my shirt's come off at least once.
Maybe even at your most sober.
It tends to happen. I mean, I don't have to be drunk for my shirt to come off. I am a heavily tattooed man underneath this t-shirt.
That's true. You have piercings?
Not anymore. I took them all out except my ears.
You wanted to get through an airport
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like I think I saw piercings as like my way to be rebellious without my parents finding out. Because my parents were kind of my mom was, my dad didn't give a shit. He just kind of listened to me and he goes, "Well, you're gonna regret that someday." I'm like, "Nah, well, that day's not today." So who's laughing now, old man?
80s was a weird time. My mom said that if I pierced my ears, she would kill me, castrate me, and kick me out of the house. And I think in that order.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think my dad said, "No son of mine will have his fucking ears pierced." And sorry, buddy.
I pierced my ear, and my mom came home, checked it out, and then bought me earrings. So it was like a weird thing. Now, the day I burned a cross in my face, that was another level. That was
Wait,
some
what?
bullshit. I burned a cross in my face. I don't know. It was just something to do. I was bored. I was 17.
Shit, man. I took a dark turn.
Speaking of dark turns, welcome to the podcast of terror.
Mm,
This show about things that are scary, like flesh burning.
I don't know, man. I have a huge brand on my thigh of Moonanite from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, so I'm all too familiar with that.
It is completely fair.
Yeah. I was wearing shorts yesterday, so I sold one of our cars, and my buddy's daughter actually bought it because she wanted a newer, older car, and they came to get it. And I was wearing shorts yesterday that are shorter than the shorts I normally wear around him. Him and I live together, so I normally wear like knee length shorts. Well, I had the hate joggers that are shorts, which are pretty short on me.
Yeah, they look short.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I'm not of a comfort that I can handle that kind of shorts. I admire the hate brand stuff a lot.
oh no, yeah, those mesh ones are way shorter than that. They have like a 3-inch inseam. Like if I were boxers, they hang out under the bottom.
Yeah, that's a level of man that I am not.
Yeah, so the joggers are a little longer. I believe they're 8 inches. But the sizing is all fucked up. Like I wear extra large shorts. I have 3X joggers and they're still tight. And I'm like, fuck, whatever, man. But yeah, so I was wearing shorter shorts and he saw my brand and then made fun of me.
Did he just assume that your penis did that?
No, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with your leg?
Your dick is just such a bad activist and it's out there doing graffiti on your leg.
Yeah. Because I mean, if the shorts roll up, you just see the bottoms of 2 feet, like 2 8-bit feet. Yeah. When it gets real cold, it turns purple. So do my balls. You want to talk about this movie?
First of all, I just want to say I congratulate you on doing Moon Knights, although I probably would have expected in that area you should go on with Old Drippy.
Well, the thing was, it was much, and I never even thought of doing Old Drippy, but and Old Drippy may have been after this, but the Moonanites, because it's mostly straight lines, and it was a birthday present, and it was excruciatingly painful. And,
like all birthday presents.
Yeah, like most birthday presents, they hurt when they're happening. And now I kind of wish I never would have done it.
Spank you on the ass.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I wish I never would have done it because that's tattoo real estate that I'm now out because you can't tattoo over big ass scars.
Nope.
So stupid.
Oh, you were young.
I was like 18, 19.
Is it on the ball side or the no ball side?
The ball side or the no ball side?
Yeah.
The fuck does that mean?
I thought you were a proud cut. I thought you were missing testicle.
Oh, well, I mean, I have 2. It's just one's real fucking small. So it's on the normal ball side.
Okay.
Yeah. They both exist. It's just one is of no benefit to me. Let's talk about Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I apparently had seen this movie before and didn't know it. Yeah, Alyssa walked in. She goes, did you like this the first time we watched it? I'm like, I don't. What are you talking about? She goes, yeah, we've seen this. Like, I don't remember any of this movie.
Is she watching it with her other husband?
I don't doubt that we watched it, and I also don't doubt that I was either not paying any attention or drunk.
Yeah, I believe all of that very easily.
Yep.
Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day is very easily summed up. It is Groundhog's Day.
Mm-hmm.
with someone getting murdered in it over and over and over, which is a joke that they make themselves at the end of the movie. So I'm not speaking out of turn. And honestly, that's not a bad movie to make.
No, there was a lot of decisions and jokes that were made that I thought were kind of dumb. Like the whole montage where she keeps waking up and she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna walk around naked because I'm gonna die and start this whole day over, and no one's gonna remember." That I was just like, I mean, at least show me a titty or something if you're gonna do that.
Yeah, it is PG-13, so
Yeah,
that doesn't
like,
nail the check mark on that for us.
no, but the pillow, like the guy who keeps falling the pillow, I thought that was kind of funny, and some of the things like the what was the guy's name, Tim or whatever. That's he always pops out because she never responds. And I thought like her calling him out was kind of funny, and it was
Go get that man ass.
I also despised the twist. All three of them.
Yeah. So let's come back a little bit. First of all, Happy Death Day was written by Scott Lobdell. Scott Lobdell, one of my all-time favorite comic series from the 90s. He co-created and wrote, which was Generation X. He was a X-Men writer at Marvel Comics, did Uncanny after Chris Claremont left. And it was cool to see his name up on this as a longtime fan. I follow him on Facebook. We actually used to like chat a little bit on Prodigy back in the day. So cool to see this happen for him. I didn't recognize any of the actors or actresses in this. It's a young cast. I don't know if they're all new, but Jessica Roth, who plays Tree, Teresa in this, was, I think, great in the role. For carrying a movie, she starts out as being a totally just
a bitch.
Yeah, nobody that you like or have any empathy for. As she progresses over time, you develop empathy for her. At least I did, and that's kind of what the story is supposed to do. It doesn't go the route that Groundhog's Day does, that you live the same day over and over again so many times that you just get to be that perfect day, although they kind of get close to that. But one of the things they do to cap that is, as she does die and come back over and over, and it's the first suggestion, just keep going until you figure out who it is. Her body starts to have more and more breakdown. The scar tissues and stuff from when she dies retains. So technically she's doing damage to herself by letting herself be murdered over and over. So she does take a few tries at it and then realizes, shit, I can't do this forever, because at some point it's just not going to work anymore. I'm feeling pain when I wake up instead of just waking up and starting over again. So that was a good move, I think, for telling a story, because yeah, exactly. If you treat a murder story with no consequence, then it takes all the danger out of it. They have to kind of reinstill some rules to make it feel like there's a weight to her being killed over and over again.
Yeah, which I kind of forgot that existed because some of the twists annoyed me. Like you had mentioned the perfect day, and it's like she finally has the perfect day, but then the person that she kills thinking they're the killer ends up not being the killer, and there's another twist. It's like, fucking stupid.
Well, that part of that is that from the very opening of the film, I kind of knew how it was going to end. I knew who the killer was. I knew that the cupcake that she keeps getting, obviously we tell people at the beginning of the show that there's spoilers. The cupcake that she gets and keeps getting rid of is poison, and that the whole murder thing is plan B. What I didn't get was that they make some reference to her roommate, who's the one who's out to kill her, having a new guy, a secret boyfriend or something on the side. Mm-hmm. So I had assumed that she was in league with the serial killer that shows up, and like she was someone who wrote him in prison and stuff, and had all this stuff arranged, and they were working together, kind of like in the Frighteners. how the woman and the ghost were all Jake Busey were together. The ghost Jake Busey. That should actually be on his business cards. But it didn't go that route. It was just like she used it as a, oh, he happens to be here. I'll unleash him and he'll go get away, and I'll use him being out there as an excuse to be able to get away with killing her myself. Yeah. They don't explain how she keeps winding up wherever Tree is in all the scenarios when she's trying to figure out who's trying to kill her. Like, always seems to be stalking her just the right way. How she shows up in the bathroom when she left the room and Tree put the stuff in front of the door. Some of the things are a little hard to explain. If you want to treat this as a, oh, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense, then there's definitely holes there. But it's not something that needs to be taken too seriously in that regard. It just seems like the whole thing of them going the route of there's a murderer in town and that being the suspect comes kind of out of nowhere and works out a little too nicely for everything. To then, I was glad at least that they did follow up and have it be the roommate at that point, because it just seemed like that's way too cut and dry for what this is.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I would have preferred they just had one twist instead of multiple stupid twists. I don't know. I'm just complaining at this point.
The other thing is that while we compare this to Groundhog's Day, it's not incredibly dissimilar to what we had when we watched The Final Girls not too long ago. In that, they're in a scenario where they go into a movie and the day keeps repeating, but the day does keep repeating. And there seems to be a reality to them getting killed versus the people in the movie getting killed. So they don't get to come back. But that's, I don't know. It's not incredibly original, but the originality isn't part of it. It's just, if it's entertaining. That's mostly what this is. Everybody wearing the baby mask. The baby mask thing is just weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's just bizarre that everybody in this school has got these baby masks. Like, that's something that should be a mascot.
Well, it wasn't it the mascot of the school?
It seemed to be for something that was going on. What college is the Raventown Babies? Like, what is that supposed to be?
Let me see here. I'm trying to look up the baby mask real quick.
I mean, it's supposed to try to create an iconic look for a killer that stands out,
right. But yeah, but like you said, I mean, it's like a decent mask for a slasher, but just give it like a better backstory as to why everyone is wearing this mask.
Yeah, that's another tough one. That part of the problem with this movie, of the things that I'm going to tear into it about, is that it glazes over certain things to just get to the parts that it wants to do. So she's letting herself be killed over and over again. She's told the guy that she wakes up in his room about what happened, and he suggests, well, just keep dying until, you figure out who it is. Yeah. But as she's eliminating people from the list, some of them don't make any sense. Of like, okay, you got in a fight with that girl and you both died, so it can't be her that kills you, but you didn't die from being murdered. You died because you got hit by a truck. That doesn't eliminate her. She could still be the one. Yep. The other thing is, if you know that you're going to be killed, why not just rush at the person and tear the mask off so you can see their face in the last seconds? Like, how hard would that have been?
Yeah. She had multiple opportunities to do that, and then actually crossed my mind at one point. Like, where she was being choked to death. It's like, why not just pull the mask off right now?
Mask off, right? It might have even been funnier if it had been multiple people who were actually killing her in that day.
Yeah.
But there is the guy who becomes her boyfriend at the end is like, well, there's got to be a reason why they're doing it on this day. And that's said, but it's never followed up on. There is no reason why it's on her birthday and why she keeps coming back and redoing it over and over. We never get an answer as to how this keeps happening, why her roommate wants to kill her. maybe even in that perfect day when she goes and she apologizes to the roommate at the beginning, maybe her roommate wouldn't have killed her that day, but then she gets killed by the actual serial killer. So maybe that did inadvertently change things, or she doesn't get killed by the serial killer. She kills herself to be able to come back because she wants to save the boy. Which I like that. I like that bit of nobility, but it's still like Groundhog's Day. They never tell you why Groundhog's Day is happening, except it's just sort of like it's seen as Phil is in purgatory because he's a bad person, and it teaches him to be a good person.
Honestly, I think that it was like a half-baked idea. They never really thought it through, and that's why that's why a lot of the decisions are made.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like a deep movie. There isn't a ton that happens. It's the same scenario repeated over and over and over and over and over, and then every time you get a little bit more. And then when you think you know what happened, they're just like, fuck this shit. This is what's really going on.
Yeah, it also does stuff with the killer. Like the killer in the first scene with them or her sets up a music box playing Happy Birthday underneath an overpass thing. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Again, if you're looking for something that, it makes sense, this isn't it. This absolutely is not it. It's done for comedy. It's not even really done for suspense. Most of the suspense is, oh, how fast is she going to die this time? Oh, there it goes. But you don't feel any kind of fear for her at all because it keeps repeating.
Well, and because you know what's happening, you know what's coming, and it's
yeah. Since there's no jeopardy, it's really just like trying to get the answer to who did this, and then when you get the answer, it doesn't really equal out too much. I also don't think that on her birthday she's going to go and get to celebrate her birthday after she's just murdered her roommate. I feel like she's going to be stuck in the police filling out a lot more paperwork. There's gonna be a lot more questions and shit. It's like, guys, seriously though, I gotta go get dicked right now, and apparently not eat a cupcake for my birthday. So, like, can we get this time done over? It's not one of Matt and Corey's podcasts. I have a fucking limit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that aside, I like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I definitely didn't like it.
So what are, other than the things that we already established, what didn't you like about it?
I mean, I just thought it was not like a really exciting new concept, and it just got really stale really quick to me. Yeah.
Is it just because you've seen the idea before? You know what to expect? I mean,
there's that, but it's like you can. How do
like
you take
the amount of movies that we've seen with Slasher in the Woods?
Right.
We can't really say too much about. Oh, I've seen it before.
But I mean, like, how do you take the concept of being murdered over and over until you can figure out who the killer is to live past the day? Like, how do you make that 90 minutes long and interesting?
And you do it with a little bit more finesse. You do it with a little bit more of building an actual mystery, and having payoffs to the mystery.
Right.
And that's a thing. I think the poison cupcake is a decent payoff for. She did do everything right. She gets all the way through it, and then she blows it by eating the cupcake, and it proves that she was on the wrong track the whole time. But her roommate is also the person that she never knocked off of the suspect list. That was a person that she started to just ultimately trust, and that doesn't make a lot of sense because she should be one of the first people that she suspects. The people who are close to you, the people who know you, these are the people you should be talking about. She should have suspected Tim, the boyfriend, but I don't think she ever really does anything to. Or not Tim, the actual boyfriend, Carter. Yeah, Carter, whose name she doesn't know, but then knows.
Yep.
Hell, I would have even suspected the guy who keeps coming in and saying, did you get any of that crazy bitch edge?
I love that guy.
Yeah, that guy was great. I don't want to stay in my car. It smells like Doritos and feet. Um, there is more of what could have been like taken a little bit more seriously. But as
Yeah.
a PG-13 movie, I don't think this is aimed at old hat horror enthusiasts.
Oh
I
no,
think it's aimed
no.
at
It's more
teens,
casual. Yep.
right?
Yep.
Teens who haven't seen Groundhog's Day, and are probably like her at the very end when she's like, "I've never seen that." You don't know Bill Murray, Ghostbusters? No, First of all, to that girl, you don't say Ghostbusters. You say Lost in Translation. At least it's something that she could have seen in the last 15 years. But I don't know. I probably enjoyed it more than you just because I liked the character. I liked her and Carter. I liked going through and them trying to develop a plan, even if it all seemed very cut and dry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not the worst movie we've seen. I say that a lot. That's sometimes like the redeeming quality of the movies that we watch is they're not the worst ones I've seen.
Yeah, it's lightweight, but I enjoy the lightweight films sometimes compared to the harder shit. It's like a palate cleanser.
I agree. I mean, it was very easy to digest. It's very easy to understand what's happening. But I think if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna make like an easily digestible horror movie for teenagers, don't like try and put some crazy twist in it. Take out the whole section where the serial killer is killing girls and she goes to the hospital and do that and just make it the fucking roommate the entire time. Like, yeah, you can explore a little deeper the roommate and the relationship, but there isn't really like a ton that really there's not a lot that happens between Tree and the roommate that like makes it make a lot of sense other than the
Right.
few interactions where she like apologizes. Like,
Right.
maybe expand on the fact that Tree's super shitty to her roommate for a very long time. Maybe don't start the day that you kind of have to. Maybe have some flashbacks or something and show her being shitty and not just you're like, oh, you fucked my boyfriend a bunch or you fucked the
Yeah, it
guy.
feels like they
You know,
shortened the stuff about the characters that she would have actually known
yep.
to involve all the stuff with the serial killer.
Yep.
And it takes
For a
away
plot
from,
twist that never really paid off.
yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. They developed the wrong aspect too much, and the other parts not enough to really give them weight.
I don't really have a whole lot else to say.
Yeah. And is this another actress who looks like Britta from Community? That's all I kept thinking the whole time. Is like we just watched The Babysitter on Netflix a couple months back.
Ooh, yep.
And that whole time, I kind of wondered if this was the same actress at first. I'm like, oh no, that's not. But there's a standardized look, I guess, that's coming out, which is not a bad look at all. But
no. So Growly is asking who the killer actually is, and the killer in the movie is Trudy's roommate the entire time, and she finds out after. So she goes through this list of people, and then she thinks that it is a serial killer that is in the hospital that she goes to, and then they goes through a couple days where she tries to kill the serial killer, and then she finally does, and she wakes up and she has not finished the day. Which I think is fucked up because isn't the whole purpose here that she has to live through the day?
she has to live through the day, but she dies.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, she dies. Yeah, she dies. And then she has some realization that her roommate is poisoning her cupcake, and that's how she figures out who the killer is, and that's who she kills.
Yeah. The last time through, when she gets through everything else and she has defeated who she thinks is the killer, she goes and she has her 16 candles moment with Carter in his room, and she eats the cupcake that her eating the cupcake is a euphemism. She eats the cupcake that her roommate made for her at the beginning of the movie, and hands her every day. She finally eats it for the first time, and then she dies in her sleep. Which is why she has to relive the day over one more time. And then that's what makes her realize, oh, shit, it was this dumb bitch who I didn't pay attention to this entire time, which is maybe part of the reason why she doesn't like you. I don't know. So What would you think they would do if they did a sequel to this movie? Because guess what? They're doing a sequel to this movie.
Fuck, I forgot about that. Same people?
I don't know if it's the same characters or not, but there is going to be a Happy Death Day 2, which means that this movie was successful enough to get a sequel, which is nice. Also by Blumhouse, and it's kind of outside of the regular spectrum of what I at least expect from Blumhouse stuff, which it's a horror movie, but it's far more mainstream and aimed at younger viewers horror movie, which is not a bad way to go. It's nice to see them expanding.
I was hoping to like read some sort of plot information on Happy Death Day 2, but I don't know. Doesn't seem to be anything out there. How if it's the same people, like how would you? How?
The next birthday, she's still a bitch. In fact, that should just be what it's called. Happy Death Day 2, still a bitch.
Still a bitch. Oh, it comes out next year too. Sweet. Oh, so the chick who plays Therese sounds like she's in the second one too. Unless it's the future and she has a kid and it happens to her kid.
That was the other thing. When she got up and she was sick the one morning, and it turned out that she was sick because of her internal energies of dying over and over again. Mm-hmm. I thought, oh, what if she's pregnant and it's the baby that's causing her to relive the day over and over? And at some point, she just gets more and more pregnant, even though it's the same day. I don't know why I thought that was interesting. It would have been something.
Yeah, but
that's because kids are parasites that live inside of you and suck away your life.
It's very true. And then they suck away your money for the next 18 plus years.
Word. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, Growly has a good idea. So in the second movie, the killer has to relive the day till he or she gets the kill right.
That's pretty cool. That's like that Hitman game that keep playing the demo level over and over again, and no, you didn't kill all the fucking guards, so you gotta try again. It's like, son of a fuck. Which is live, die, repeat. It's the Tom Cruise thing, and it's not a untouched theme, I guess is what we're saying. Is not horribly original.
No.
So it's all based on execution.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the execution was all right.
Yeah, I mean, I will have to watch the second one now.
If she's not the subject of the second one, she could be like the person who tells him stuff about what's going on, like Ellie Lauder was in the second Final Destination.
Mm-hmm.
Except she died in that one. This is weird. Like, hey, we're going to get this person back from the first one, and we're going to have her die randomly with all the other people. Like, just has no real impact on being here. She just showed up and like, hey, this is what's going on. See ya. Bloom. And that's all.
Yeah. Whatever.
I'm going to let you rate this.
2.
2?
Yeah, that's...
I'm going to go 3.5. I liked it more.
Clearly. Give it a higher rating.
Well, yeah. But I don't think it's a spectacular movie. I just think it's a fun movie.
No, I agree.
And since Groundhog Day is one of those movies I can watch over and over and over again, even though it seems like it should wear on me because it's repetitive in itself, and then to watch it again, it's even more repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I still find it appealing.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, I don't blame you one bit.
I'm not saying I find this one as appealing, but it's pretty good.
No. You know what I'm going to let you find appealing? The outro.
The outro. Tell me if you've heard this one before. You can contact us by leaving us a voicemail at 805-328-3966. You can email us at pot@gncast.com. You can leave us a message on the website. I think. I don't know. Do you go to the website?
Do I?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when I want to make sure that the episode actually posted.
Oh, yeah. That was... Wow. Hey, more apologies for last week. We did the episode where we're sorry we were off for 2 weeks, but we're getting this out to you right away. Matt didn't even wait till Tuesday.
No.
He put it out Sunday night to have it ready for you first thing of the week. And then the entire website went to shit real hard. So I guess go to the website and mock us.
Well, it's fine
by
now.
leaving us a message on it and see if that happens.
So the RSS feed pushed out everywhere except iTunes, but the iTunes portion is now fixed. So if you listen to this on iTunes, you're good because you're listening.
I actually didn't push out everywhere except iTunes because it didn't show up for my podcast player either.
No one cares about your podcast player.
Eat my dick. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're at Podcastateer in all those places. And it seems like sometimes maybe you can subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or whatever your favorite podcatcher is. And you can leave us feedback there. You could probably leave us feedback even if the show isn't there. You can just go, hey, those Podcastateer guys, they're dumb.
I hear they have fat cocks.
1 star.
Fat cock too.
Yeah.
We should rub our fat cocks together.
Wonder Twin Powers, no.
Fat cocktervate?
Form of flaccidity, because that's all I can do.
Form of
Zan's melted all the time.
That's funny.
Yeah. You know what? You can go to bit.ly/pot review. And that's a specific thing just for reviewing podcasts. You can't even download them there. But be a trendsetter. Go outside the norm. Be the person who said fuck Facebook. I'm going to Vero or Mastodon. Yeah, show your parents you don't give a shit about them. Rebel.
Move out. Finally.
Smoke. Jump off a bridge if your friends are doing it.
You're 24 years old. Move out.
We're very disappointed in you at this point, is what we're saying.
Yeah. We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Yeah, I'm madly disappointed. Go to gncast.com/subscribe. That's where you find all this shit. And if you want, you can go to Facebook and look under Galactic Network and mock Dave for giving us a place to talk.
That's all his fault.
That's true.
You can also go to amazon.podcastateer.com, shop like you normally would. That gives us some money. And then I feel less bad about buying a bunch of, audio equipment. That's all there is to it. Corey, where can people find you?
I don't know, man.
Or whatever the fuck you're pushing these days. Then you're on 17 other podcasts without me.
I am.
That'll do much better than this one because I'm not there.
The people stay awake longer. Hey, you know what? I did start a new podcast. The beta episode just hit the streams, and our first official episode is on April 3rd. It's over with the Ink Geeks, and if you go to Ink Geek Studios, I don't know, one of those places, just look up Solutions to Fix the Universe, the STFU cast. The streams are now open. It is a fucking mess. I hope you enjoy it. Matt, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and on Tapped at Matt the Lifeguard. I don't know what we're doing next week. We haven't decided.
We have a friend who was going to have us check out his independent film. Dan Jackson said something about us doing a review of his movie. So we'll see if that comes into place or not. If not, we'll figure something out. Or we'll be gone for 3 weeks because, shit happens.
Yeah, we like to keep everyone on their toes. Yeah, so that's going to do it for another episode of the Podcast Terror. We will talk to you guys next week.
Stay scary, everybody.
All right. Growly, thanks for hanging out. Corey wasn't wrong. It's late here. I need to go to sleep because I am an old man. I also have to edit this fucking episode and put it out.
Pretend.
I at least have to do a few things to it.
Go through the motions.
Yeah. Which 121. I'll sit here and wait for Growly to respond. Either that or he already left. He's like, fuck these assholes.
Well, he is at work, right?
Yeah. No, he's totally at work.
It's kind of one of those things where I try to watch podcasts and stuff sometimes at work, and I want to be involved in the chat, and then I have to disappear for 10 minutes.
Right.
Mostly because I'm a slow peer.
Should work on that. God damn it.
I actually drank Mountain Dew during the show.
What?
I drank a Mountain Dew at the show. I don't know how old this Mountain Dew is. It is not new. But
how did it taste?
Like Mountain Dew.
Oh.
With real sugar.
So I mean, it's not like it tasted funny.
No, I did.
Or did it?
Back in my day, the soda didn't have an expiration date.
That's a very good point.
It's not like it's skunked like a beer. It just.
Well, yeah.
Although we weren't building up fucking amplitudes of saving up soda in the basement like some people are. They're specialty brews.
Hey man, I like drastically slowed down my drinking too because I'm trying to lose a bunch of weight, and it's just staring at me all the time.
It's just mocking you.
It's all the time. It's like, hey, come back to us, fucker.
I want to lose weight, but I want to taste goodness.
It's only temporary. I'll put you in my mouth at a later date.
Yeah.
Fuck. Where the hell did all this shit go?
I want to lose weight, but not permanently.
Yeah.
I want to feel good about myself for about 3 months, and then I'm going to give up again. And
exactly. Goddamn. I don't even remember what I'm saying anymore.
I know.
I know this bumpers and shit. Tell you about the day that I came home and my computer was like, "Hey, you can install Windows right now." Like I came home from bowling and that's all I could do. I rebooted it and it just went right back into a Windows install. Apparently there was a bad update that tells your computer that it has no choice but to reinstall Windows. Yeah, I was like, this is cool.
My mom's going through shit with hers where like her start menu completely disappeared and shit. And
oh.
I love trying to troubleshoot stuff from across the country because
I'm telling you, man, you got to get TeamViewer.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is fine and dandy in most situations, but not all.
I mean, it's my mom. I will do whatever I can to help her out. I want to make it sound like I'm not.
Oh, no. But yeah, a lot of times it's very difficult to do any sort of troubleshooting if you can't see what the issue is.
Right.
So I get it. I'm the same way with my parents. Like, I really want to help you guys, but I mean, I can't if you can't explain it to me.
Yeah, exactly. Have a great night, Crawley.
Yeah, you too, buddy. See you later.